I've watched countless pitch deck presentations and have a surprising truth for you. The shorter presentations are often the most effective. Keep watching to find out why this simple strategy will win you over investors and some tips on how to shorten your presentation. If you're interested in finding out how to have the most powerful pitch deck possible, subscribe to my channel. And while you're there, make sure you hit the bell to be notified when videos are posted. If there's one thing I'm passionate about, it's talking to clients about their businesses and creating clarity around their business message. I'm Antonia from aok.com.au, and I've been helping my clients for over 23 years and have successfully helped them raise millions in equity. To help you shorten your pitch deck, you should download my pitch deck content guide. The 15 key points will keep your message succinct and also has some tips on how to expand on those key points. You'll find a link for my guide in the description. Most of the pitch decks I see generally run for 20 or 30 minutes. If yours is the same, it might be time to give it a good edit. I can already feel you pushing back against this idea. You may think that it's not enough time, but consider this. Investors love 15-minute pitch decks. Why? It allows them to see more startup presentations in a shorter window of time, and it forces entrepreneurs to cut to the chase. What's the current length of your pitch deck? Do you think you could get it down to 15 minutes? Let me know in the comments below. As time goes by, you'll find you'll need a variety of pitch decks. One of these will need to be an overview pitch deck, which will be shorter and used to generate interest from investors. If the investor invites you back for a longer chat, you would take your longer pitch deck and go into greater detail. Are you ready for a few tips on how to make your pitch deck shorter, but still powerful? Let's get started. Trim the fat. To do this, you will need to edit your presentation. Be tough. Make an audit of any words you can trim. To do this, you'll need to read your pitch deck narration out loud several times and have a pen handy to delete any words you really don't need. That doesn't mean you should throw out or ignore all the rules of grammar. You want to come across as succinct, not sloppy. This will do more than just make your pitch deck shorter. It will ensure that you sound more direct, confident, and clear during your presentation. Cut some slides. To simplify and shorten your pitch deck, include a maximum of 15 slides. Consider your pitch deck with new eyes and decide which slides to cut and which points contain must-have information. Any points that are not central to your pitch can be deleted or hidden. Just show the big numbers. You don't need a lot of complex numbering to prove a point. So if you have a slide with a lot of numbers, drill down to find the important points and try to stick to no more than 3 key figures per slide. This will help you lose charts and graphs that are not necessary and may bore your audience. To do this, look at a graph and say out loud what the graph is portraying. Is it a 50% revenue growth with 5 new products per year? Then make sure you state that on the slide. A graph can be great, but you lose nothing by making your point laser clear. It will also help you drive home your key financial details, making them easier for investors to remember. Set strict time limits. I suggest you break your pitch deck down into 5 sections with the following time frames. The introduction, which should take 1 minute. Think of this as the equivalent of speed dating. You have 1 minute to tell your investors what your firm does and what problem or need you are satisfying. Make sure your introduction is compelling and engaging. You don't want to lose their attention before you even started. Next is the backstory, which should take about 2 minutes. Introduce your customer or market. If you want to add an extra layer of engagement, present this via a character, let's say Jim, who has a dilemma in your current market. Adding storytelling to flesh out the issue with a few details and some humor often works well. Build your market story, then introduce your competitors and your competitive advantage in that market. Now we're into your business strategy, and this should take around 5 minutes. This is where you go into greater depth about the market and the current market data. Talk at greater length about how your business solves the problem you just highlighted, and explain the gap in the market and why this is a big opportunity. It's now time to demonstrate your vision for the future by telling investors about your growth strategy and your timelines to achieve those results. I know you've been chomping at the bit for this part. It's time to talk about the finances and your business plan. Give yourself about 5 minutes for this part. In this section, you briefly run through your financial projections, your approach to how the funding will be utilized, and your future vision. This should also introduce some data about your market, revenue, and other potential income streams. You can also introduce your team at this point or during your backstory, but make sure their expertise is relevant and beneficial to the growth of your company within this market. Finally, it's time to close your presentation. This isn't as important as the opening of your pitch and should take about 2 minutes or less. This is where you summarize the key points you want investors to keep front of mind. That means going over the investment opportunity and your final call to action. You might like to add a little humor or end with a punchy quote, but whatever you do, make sure it is relevant and appropriate for your overall message. You could then invite investors to ask questions, and if they don't have any, pose a few questions under the guise of previous investor questions. Only do this if it adds to your story. Doing this at the end can muddy the waters. You'll need to measure your audience here and make your own call. Rehearse and revise. Your energy during a presentation and your ability to drill down to your key points is going to be your secret weapon to keeping your pitch deck to under 15 minutes. Practice your presentation until it feels as natural as breathing. Time it while you practice and keep editing and revising your pitch deck until it's running shorter without you feeling rushed. Rehearse it while you're standing up and also clicking through your slides. Fine-tuning your delivery can cut important seconds from each section until you reach the sweet spot of 15 minutes. Have you ever had to present your pitch deck in less than 15 minutes? Let me know how long it was in the comments. With a clear, concise, and compact pitch deck, you may find you attract even more investor attention and, just as importantly, make your business message easier to remember. If you haven't been able to cut your content down to a tidy 15 minutes and need some help, send it to me and I'll review it for you. You'll find my contact details in the description. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and give me a thumbs up. I realize pitching your idea isn't easy, but don't forget, you are following your dreams, so keep on pitching with passion. You're just one pitch away from success.